So for the second example, we're going to graph a function, but the function is given to us in standard form. And standard form would be this, where you have y defined in terms of x, but there's an ax squared plus bx plus c. And the example we're going to do right now is y equals x squared minus 4x and then minus 12, where the a is the coefficient of the x squared, and it should be noted that a, if you don't see a number there, that 1 would be that number, because anytime you multiply 1 by anything, it's the same thing. So we don't write the 1. So if you don't see the 1, you know it's a 1. And then b is the number in front of the x, the coefficient of the x, and then the c is the constant. So just to identify, that's what we mean by a, b, and c. A, b, and c are always real numbers. They're never variables. You never would put a variable in here in the a, the b, and the c. Well, the most important part, step 1, when we're graphing a quadratic function in standard form, is to identify the x coordinate of the vertex. So that's a number we can get usually pretty easily, x coordinate of the vertex, if we understand one simple thing, and that's that the x coordinate of the vertex is the opposite of b over 2 times a. That's the x coordinate of the vertex. In fact, this is a very, very important part of this, because if you don't know that, then then it's kind of hard to find it, but you have to do a little bit more research. But this is a kind of a quick way to find the x coordinate of the vertex. Now, where does that come from? If you remember the quadratic formula, negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, if you sing it using the Pop Goes the Weasel song, over 2a. And now the roots, or the solutions to the quadratic equation, would have negative b plus something over 2a and negative b minus something over 2a. Well, if you look at a parabola, those are going to be the 2 points right there. The solutions to the quadratic equation are the x-intercepts of the quadratic function, and they're equidistant from that axis of symmetry. And the axis of symmetry is the one that splits the vertex. And so if we throw away the positive side and the negative side, we're left with this negative b over 2a, and that negative b over 2a is the one right in the middle. And that's the x coordinate of the vertex, which is also the axis of symmetry. So that's a little background as to where that comes from, so maybe it'll help you remember what that is. So anyway, let's go ahead and find that. We want to find, again, step 1, the x coordinate of the vertex, negative b over 2a, put the minus sign there, and then look for b. Okay, b is also negative there, so we're going to write negative 4, because it's the opposite of b, and b is negative 4, so the opposite of negative number. Over 2 times a, and a is 1. So we have, in this case, negative 4, that's positive 4, over 2, which is 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Now, that's the x coordinate of the vertex. So if we wanted to go ahead and draw the graph already, we would at least know that the x coordinate of the vertex being 2 means that the axis of symmetry is the line x equals 2. And all we have to do is find where on this axis of symmetry is that y coordinate of the vertex going to be. And if we want to find that y coordinate of the vertex, then we're going to replace x with the x coordinate of the vertex. So we're going to put 2 in for x, and when we put 2 in for x, we're going to write everything out and then simplify carefully. 2 squared is 4, minus 4 times 2 is 8, minus 12, and we just now move using PEMDAS here. We're going to move from left to right. 4 minus 8 is negative 4. Negative 4 minus 12 is negative 16. So we know that the vertex is at 2, negative 16. So therefore, the vertex is 2, negative 16. And we don't need to get too fancy here. That's why I like to not use graph paper, because if I don't have it all gridded, I don't have to worry about it. I don't want to write 16 lines. I'm just going to put just a dot down there. I'm going to label it negative 16. I don't need to worry about making sure it's proportional. I just want to make sure I get a dot on my axis of symmetry, and I'm going to label it negative 16. And again, I'm going to label my vertex here as well. So 2, negative 16, the A is 1, so we know it opens up, and it's kind of a medium width. And that's how you draw the graph given the vertex of 2, -16. So that's the first two. Those are the first two things you're going to do. Find the y-coordinate of the vertex after you find the x-coordinate of the vertex. And then in the next video, I will show you how to find all those characteristics of the function. So let's do that in the next video.